It's a great day to be a Michigan Wolverine. The third-ranked men's gymnastics team won the program's fifth straight Big Ten championship this weekend. The Wolverines finished with a team score of 330.750, their second highest score of the season. The program's five straight conference championships is the most consecutive since the 1960s. Junior Fred Richard was the all-around Big Ten champion for the third consecutive year. His teammate Paul Judah came in second in the all-around competition. Richard's trophy case getting pretty full at this point. I wonder where he keeps all this hardware. He's a three-time Big Ten gymnast of the championships, the equivalent of MVP of the competition. Richard won bronze with the USA men's gymnastics at the 2024 Paris Olympics, the team's first medal since 2008. Richard became the youngest American gymnast to win an individual world medal in the men's competition at the 2023 World Gymnastics Championships. Now just add another Big Ten title to the trophy case. And speaking of Frederick Richard, he joins us now for today's big interview. Great to see you. I guess I'd ask how it feels to be a champion, but you've done this a time or two before. Does it ever get old?
I don't know if it gets old. I think winning is pretty fun.
Winning is pretty fun. So take us back to this past weekend, starting with the team winning the all-around championship. What is it that's so special about this year's Michigan group?
Yeah, I mean, this group, we have so many talented guys on every event. Each guy has like their strength. And we know that we were hosting Big Tens this year and NCAAs here at Michigan. So just the whole year, there's just been this burning fire to reach our peak and be ready for these competitions. And it's showing now. We're dominating. Yeah,
absolutely. It was pretty dominant in terms of that Big Ten championship performance. I do want to talk about the individual all-around competition. You were actually trailing teammate Paul Judah heading into the final rotation. What was your mindset to close it out down the stretch against someone you are so familiar and close with?
Yeah, so first of all, I never see any scores throughout the whole competition.
Okay.
And it's such an interesting thing because I didn't know if we were 3/10 away from winning this championship or as a team or if we were going to lose it. I had no clue where we were. And so the mindset is always the same. It's like, do my job. You have to put on, I have the privilege of being the very last person to finish the event off. So I'm the last routine on high bar that guarantees us whatever win. And so my mindset's just be grateful to have this opportunity to finish off for the team, make sure I stick the dismount and just finish strong. And that's what I did. And then you realize, oh, our team won. I got the medal for all around. And it's interesting because I have no clue what's going on beforehand.
That's actually wild that you're not closely watching the scores. One would assume that you're looking at that so you know, hey, I need to get this certain score to win. So that is certainly fascinating. You mentioned the high bar. You finished first in that specific event. Is that your favorite, or what is your favorite to do?
I would say high bar is my favorite. I think, number one, like the thrill of releasing the bar, trying to catch back, knowing you could miss it, but doing it under pressure is like the best feeling in the world. And then you get to finish off on it a lot of the time. So it's one of my best events, so getting to finish off on my best event is just a good feeling.
Absolutely. My gosh, watching this video, it's just making me nervous seeing it. You mentioned the possibility of falling. How do you overcome fears, and what is it that makes you so fearless when you approach these various events?
Fear? What is that? I don't know it. I was kidding. I think the best thing I learned as a very young kid, and I've just taken this through my whole life, is my first coach. He used to say, it's okay to have fear. If you don't have fear, you're stupid, number one. But it's not about being afraid. It's about having courage. You know, courageous people are scared and they still do the thing. They overcome it. And so your goal is to be as courageous as possible, not fearless.
Wow, I love that. I need that on a bumper sticker, a T-shirt, or something, Fred. Well, you haven't just accomplished a ton at the NCAA level, but also with USA Gymnastics winning bronze at the 2024 Paris Olympics as an integral part of that team. What was that experience like, and how did that help you as you returned to NCAA competition this past spring?
Yeah, I mean, that is the epitome of gymnastics, being an Olympian, getting that Olympic medal. And there's so many things on that road that you have to overcome. Injuries, pains, the strategy of peaking on that one exact day and being 100%, the team building of coming together with guys that you don't usually train with as much, but you know, and then you have to make yourselves as close and comfortable as possible to actually work as a team. And I think all of these situations just built up the experience level that I have for competing, and it lets me bring it back to my team, give them tips, give them my expertise on what helps me compete under pressure. And I think it's just helped everybody grow this year.
I can only imagine what it's like to put on that USA jersey. Was there any surreal moment or a moment where it hit you just what you accomplished?
Yeah, I mean, there's so much of it, especially in Paris. I think we had this really nice balcony apartment as a team, and just after each day, you just stand there looking like over the sea of other Olympic athletes, just thinking about, wow, we're really here. We've really done it, and it's going to be written in history forever. I'll always be an Olympic medalist. That's pretty crazy to think about.
There's no question the Olympics is the pinnacle of any sport, but there's also something unique about competing for your school, that name on the front of the jersey, being with individuals who are around your age, you have this special bond. What is it like and what does it mean to you to compete for the Wolverines specifically?
Yeah, I mean, the Wolverines, and I mean, University of Michigan is the school that has made me. Been here for 3 years now, could not have achieved really anything without them. And the boys I'm competing with are my brothers. We train day and night for the last 3 years together. You know, some people come on, other people leave, but you build this very close, strong bond around this mission that you have. And so when we go to these competitions, and you know we've all put in the work, you've seen every one of these guys put in the work every single day, you want to put on for your brothers.
Something that you did recently, we have to touch on, that caught a lot of headlines was refusing to wear the traditional singlet that's been around for 130 years. You really took the internet by storm in that Winter Cup when you came out in a tank top and shorts, and that's something you've been at the forefront of, is pushing for uniform change in men's gymnastics. Why is that so important to you, and where did this idea come from?
Yeah, so I grew up in the gym, always training, never in the uniform, but much more comfortable clothing, you know, the t-shirt, the shorts. And my sport is definitely a sport of freedom. You know, you're in the air, you're flipping 5 feet above the ground, and you feel free. But I never really felt free with the uniform. It felt like uncomfortable, restricted. And like, this is the mission of saying, like, our sport is about freedom. Our sport is about personality and being yourself and being comfortable. And that's what the uniform should reflect to. And when something hasn't been changed for 130 years, it's time for it to be changed, and or at least give people the option to have the opportunity to wear other things. And so when we're in a sport where you just follow this code book to the T and get deducted for every little thing, it's time to loosen up on some of those rules.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you make a ton of great points. How are those conversations going in terms of getting real change, not just at the NCAA level, but internationally when it comes to uniforms?
They're going great. Yeah, they're going amazing, and it's crazy to think that I'm the catalyst of it. I was on a call with the USAG, you know, heads of the rules, and the people who bring it to the international stage, and they're supportive of it and saying they're going to start this push. Even on the college front, they're looking to make those rules a little broader for next year. So it's crazy to think that I was the start of it, and I'm thankful for that. Glad I can be a part of, you know, changing a sport.
You brought up the fearlessness or courage when it comes to performing. You also have that in some of your social media presence, now pushing for change with uniforms. But I do want to dial into your TikTok, Instagram presence. You're going to hit 1 million followers on both those platforms here shortly. How do you try to use that and that platform that you have to further the sport of gymnastics?
Yeah, I think I've been put in this position, and it's the position I've always wanted, to have the actual power to make changes, to do good in the world. And now that I have so many people that I can reach instantly and get behind a cause, there's some amazing things we can do. And when I think about what I'm going to do the rest of the year, it's always about, okay, how do I really make change? How do I change lives now? For example, after NCAAs, I'm probably tackling the next biggest thing in my career, which is breaking the backflip world record in 24 hours, which is over 1,000 backflips in 24 hours. And the reason I'm doing it is it's going to be a fundraiser. The whole live stream will be fundraising, raising money to bring equipment to underprivileged places in Africa and get those opportunities to those kids. And it's crazy to think that I will get to have an impact on other countries and other kids just doing what I do best, which is flipping.
What? I mean, my mind is blown. Did you just say 1,000 backflips in 24 hours? Is that humanly possible?
I'm hoping so. Well, someone has done it. This is the record, so I have to beat it. And who else not to beat it than an Olympian? So I should be able to. But this is going to be probably one of my hardest physical tasks, you know, pushing myself for 20 hours straight. But then hopefully the outcome of it is enormous. You know, that we do raise a lot of money, that we do get to see this equipment put in these places. And the reason I took on this mission is I was seeing them post content, and they're flipping on tires and dirt and just these crazy settings with no real resources. And I'm like, I was in your spot one day when I was younger, and I had the same energy, the same drive, but I had the resources, I had the coaches, I had everything to get me to this level. How far could you go if you had those resources? So it's going to be a big, big challenge, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
That is incredible. You are an inspiration, my friend. Really quickly, before we let you go, you brought up the NCAA Championships around the corner. What's the focus for this group, and what will it take to bring home the ultimate trophy?
Yeah, we're doing all the work in the gym. That's no question, and it's showing. I think the focus now is keeping the energy up, having a lot of fun while we compete, and it's in Michigan, so we're gonna have to get the crowd involved, and we're gonna need as many people to show up to the NCAA Championships as possible to make it loud. Other than that, I think we're ready. I think this is the year, and it's gonna be really fun.
All right, folks, you heard the man. Get to Ann Arbor for the NCAA Championships as Michigan pursues a national title. Runners-up a season ago. Fingers crossed you guys win it. We look forward to watching. Thanks so much for the time, Fred. Really appreciate it, and best of luck.
Thank you. Go Blue.